Alright guys, what's going on? This is going to be a first in a series of videos to show you how to do some hobbying for your miniature games. I'm going to do everything from terrain making to painting miniatures to you name it, it's going to be in here in one of the episodes. I thought first I should show you some tools. Just some of the basic things that you're going to need. Now, I should have went through and cleaned all this up and made it look all nice and spiffy, but this is a workbench. If you have a workbench, it's going to look like this eventually. Well, I probably shouldn't say that because I'm sure there's some anal retentive people out there that everything has to be in its proper place, and if it's off by a quarter of an inch, they're going to freak out and move it back. But not all of us work like that. I would lose my mind. Alright? But then again, I guess I'm a pig, and anyway. But anyway. So, my workspace is cluttered. Some people are going to say that's wrong. Some people will say it's right. It doesn't matter. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. Issue number one. You need someplace comfortable to work. Some people have to pack up after every little episode. Some can leave it. We're filming in a tattoo studio. I have a section of the studio devoted to a mess, but this is where I work. So, and when you see all the paints and stuff, you can tell that this just is a mess. It's a work area. And most of my customers ask questions and, learn about this, and they see some of the miniatures that I've got in the display cases, and it all makes sense to them. But, anyway, we're off topic. So, let's talk about tools. Alright? To get started, you don't need all this stuff. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just going to show you some of the basics. I'll probably show you some of the fancy ones too, but you don't need everything. A little bit here, a little bit there. And of course the dogs are going to chime in. Usually it's a phone. For those of you from YouTube watching me. Quiet on the set! You're fucking up the shot! We'll just have to cut that part out, huh? No, knowing me, I'll probably leave it in. Anyway. One of the first tools you'll need to go get you. Hobby knife. They come in various shapes, sizes. I've got a whole kit over here of different types of blades and holders. Some are real good for certain jobs. Some are good for others. You don't need all this. One good one and a few different types of blades. All you really need. It's nice to have a bunch of different knives so you can have different types of blades set up. Don't need it. One good blade is important. Here's something that you don't need. A wet palette. I will go over this later on, but it's nice to have the tool. If you find it or you can make it or whatever, tools are always good to have. Now, do you need to go out and rush out and buy all these? No. For most hobby stuff that you're going to do for gaming, a couple paintbrushes, a knife, something like that, good to go. But the right tool for the right job, you can do a lot more. Not saying that you have to go out and buy all these. But you find them on sale or something, pick some up. Next one. Needle files. Look, I'm knocking models over. Never good. Needle files come in different shapes, sizes. You can usually find a kit of these that'll have various sizes and shapes. If you can only afford one or two, cool. I suggest like a half moon shape, a half round shape with a flat and a flat one. You got those two, you can pretty much do everything. But like I said, you can usually find them in a kit. I've got a couple kits worth over here. I've got bigger files. So here's the one I was talking about, Half Moon. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I don't know if I held it up right. This side's flat. This side's a half. Not a half or a third. It's rounded. And there's still more over here. Alright. Do you need all these? No. It's nice to have them. Once again, you don't need that many. Brushes. You can go broke buying brushes. You don't need all those. 2 or 3 good brushes. All you really need. I like having various styles, sizes, shapes. One thing to look at is the type of brush, what it handles. And it'll tell you on there whether it's good for acrylics, good for oil-based, good for this, good for that. Pay attention to that. Now for each one, or like acrylics, there's several different kinds. I like sables myself, red sable. Other people like this, other people like that. Like I said, you can go broke buying brushes. Then again, you can pick up a whole 10 of them for $1 or $2. I've got some in the cabinet behind you. There was probably 100, 200 of them. They were like the type that you would use, little kids would use for like watercolors. I got it in a hobby section, like a Hobby Lobby in the kids section, next to the sidewalk chalk. I mean, that tells you what kind of quality it's, but they're good for spreading glues. Something that like I'm going to need to do some mixing or something, and I don't want to have to spend the time cleaning it out. Yeah, I mean, it's a good throwaway brush. I bought like 100 of them for $2 or $3. If I mess one up, throw it away. Now for terrain, you know, I've got in my little carousel over here, and all the way down to little bitty ones. You know, I've got various brushes. Right tool for the right job. I've got various kinds of handles. Now this is just real quick. Here's some of those junk ones. They come in different colors. I just happen to have pink. I grabbed a handful and out came pink. So, here's just in one reach over there. Look at how many different styles and materials and brands that I picked up. Now, do you need to go out and buy all these to get started? No. 1 or 2 good brushes, all you need, especially if you take care of them. Now, I will go through how to take care of a brush on a later episode. Now, over my carousel, I also have a screwdriver, you know, one of the small ones. Not quite as small as ones that you would fix eyeglasses with, but a little bit bigger than that. I have a couple pairs of snips. These are good for taking model pieces off the sprue. Now, you can cut it with a blade. That's better than popping it out. But what's even better is being able to pop it off that quick, that easy. Now, again, I'll go over technique later on, but say the part was right here. I could pop this out and then be able to maneuver it a little better. That quick, that easy. Instead of sitting there going like this and ruining the part. Blades for your knife. I know I'm jumping back to the knife. Multiples of the blades. Once they start getting dull, you have to put extra effort into it, and that's when you're going to cut yourself. Sharp blade. Sharp blade. Once it loses its edge, throw the thing away or put it off to the side for doing dumb stuff. You know, you got to cut something that you shouldn't be cutting with a blade. Take off a good blade, put a shitty blade on. Now, we use a lot of green stuff, so you're going to want a sculpting tool or two. Now, this is a Gale Force 9 set. You know, you don't need all these, and you can actually make sculpting tools. I've seen guys use paper clips on them